tell from the montage, I've decided I'm going to condense these two shelves down to one video, which means I'm going to do the same thing with the next two shelves, and those next two shelves will actually be the last two that I'm dusting. So, you know, we'll see how it goes from there, but right now, let's talk about what we got in front of us. So let's talk really quickly about ambition and how sometimes it's great and sometimes it's weird. This is the USS Excelsior. This is the Hikaru Sulu Captain version from Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country. And before we get started on the batteries and how strange they are, just look at the design and the detail and how just beautifully executed this Diamond Select ship is. The paint, the application of the stickers, I mean, it's just a beautiful looking ship. And then we introduce the lighting, and we'll do that here in a second. But what's really weird about the battery situation here is you get this funny little tray to stick your AAA batteries in. And then the contacts are here, and then the batteries slide in this way, and then they make contact, and you kind of see a little bit of a spring action there with the springs that are inside there. And then this cover slides over top, and then you secure it with a screw. But it's a big fiddle faddle is what it is. It's really strange. It's a strange way of doing it. But what we're going to do now is I'm going to stick batteries in here, and we're going to see if we can admire the lights. So I've got my rechargeables, sliding them in there like that. I do have the screw, but I'm going to try to do it without the screw so I can get these batteries out of here. But you just slide that in there like that. And then you push it closed, and the screw's supposed to fit in there. It does kind of snap a little bit, so it can kind of work without, as long as you don't jostle it too much. Yeah, see, it'll spring right out. I'm just trying to keep it to a certain point here. Hang on. So I've screwed it in halfway, as you can kind of see here. It's a very long screw, and when I get to the Enterprise B back here, I will show you why I'm hesitant to do this. But as of right now, let's see if I can get these lights to work.
Captain's log, USS Excelsior. Hikaru Sulu commanding.
You get the wonderful blue nacelles. You get the wonderful red impulse engines. You get blue impulse crystals up here. You get this wonderful blue deflector.
Magnify.
I mean, it's just, the LEDs in this are just glorious.
Damage report. Don't tell me that was any meteor shower.
These are all from Star Trek VI.
Don't engage. Fire, Martin. Shoes up. All right. Now we've given him something else to shoot at. Target that explosion and fire.
I love that line. That's such a great line. Look how amazing these impulse lights look.
Nice to see you in action. One more time, Captain Kirk.
Let's see. Ooh. Oh. Oh dear. That's interesting. Why did it come loose? I screwed it in. That's really strange. I think that's the end of our run.
Captain's log, USS Excelsior. Hikaru Sulu commanding.
But, I mean, it's such a great ship, and it just glows beautifully. It's just one of, it's like there's the Bird of Prey, and then there's the Enterprise D, and then there's these two ships, the USS Excelsior and the USS Enterprise B. So, yeah, so that is the Excelsior. And now we get to the B. And let's talk about kit bashes. I actually love this sweeping design here. I love the secondary hull's little fins along the deflector dish there. There's some subtle changes. Let me get the Excelsior back out here. I may have to expand the view here for a second. Hang on. We can get to the batteries here in a second, but let's do some comparisons here. So as you can see, you've got a completely different deflector dish area. I'm trying to hold them in a way here. But yeah, you can see the deflector dish on this has a different look to it. Of course, the secondary hull has a different look to it. There are some minimal differences here. I mean, the paint color is different. The B looks like it's a little dirtier for some reason. I'm not exactly sure why. But I mean, otherwise, it's basically the same ship. There's also another difference up here, which hopefully we'll be able to show. There are 2 more impulse engines on the back here, as you can see, compared to Excelsior class right here. I mean, this is still an Excelsior class, I do believe, but they just updated it for the movie. I mean, that's basically what we've got here. I'm sure there are canonical reasons, which I am not apt to get into, but here in just a second, we will get the batteries in and see if it works. So let's go over this battery compartment. Now, unlike the Excelsior here, that has, this is its battery compartment, the screw is completely separated. So I could take this screw completely out. With this one, however, the screw is kind of grommeted in. I'm going to put her down here for a second. So you can't completely remove the screw. And what has happened is, unfortunately, the tension that this needs in order to keep it, the spring in, has unfortunately given this a stress crack. And at some point, I am definitely going to have to glue that together. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to use the bottom of the Excelsior, which will fit right in here, and hold it in place. Now here's the other issue. Unfortunately, we've got some battery damage, battery leakage damage here. So I'm hoping, I know that these trays are very similar. So I mean, there's just a bunch of similarities here. I'm hoping that I can slide this in, get this cover on and get it on tight. And you can see the difference in color here. It's pretty stark, but it should give me enough force to hold these batteries in and hopefully get some kind of a sound. Or not. Aww. That does bum me out. I mean, I was having electrical issues with it to start with, but unfortunately it's, and I have it in play because that's off, and that's play. Yeah. Unfortunately. And this is in there, and it's up against the springs and everything, and it's just not, and that is so sad and so unfortunate. The battery did not damage this side, as you can see where the contacts are. So a new tray should work. It's whatever's on the inside here that is disconnected, and I am not sure what it is, but it is very unfortunate. Because it lit up just as brilliantly and beautifully as the Excelsior did. But yeah, so that is the Enterprise B from Star Trek Generations. Unfortunately, I can't light it up for you. I apologize for that, and I'm very sorry for myself too, to be honest, because like I said, it lit up brilliantly and was a beautiful set of LED lights. And while we're on Excelsiors, here is the Eagle Moss Enterprise B. This is their XL version. It is very well done. Of course, it's not as detailed as the big sister right there, but I saw it and fell in love with it. I love the Enterprise B. I was always a big fan of the Excelsior class ship. I think this variant is neat. I mean, I don't understand the point of this. It's very science-y, I guess. But yeah, so you've got your 4 impulse engines. You've got your warp nacelles. You've got your torpedo tubes here, one on each side. And then the phaser strips. There's no phaser strips on this, actually. They're all phaser, basically cannons, I guess. But we never... but after the Wrath of Khan, we didn't see phasers again until the next generation. So... But yeah, so that is the Eagle Moss Enterprise B from Generations. And this one's actually got a really nice holder because it slides here and it leans back. So there's no fear of it sliding forward and off because, I mean, it's just sitting in there. So, but there you go. Ah! Before we get to the big events, let's do the last Eagle Moss that I have on the table here. This is the Terok Nor. There's a lot of, and don't speak to my younger son ever again's up here because you get it with the Enterprise B and the Excelsior, and then you also get it with Deep Space Nine here, guarding the wormhole. It's a really nice piece of die cast. These are plastic, but the ring itself is die cast. It's nice. It's a nice heavy piece. I think this is the XL version of that as well. I think, or they just had a Starbase versions of things because I don't think they had an XL of the Starbase one space dock, but or this that I'm aware of. But this is the Eagle Moss version of DS9. And it doesn't have a holder. It just uses its pylons down here in the bottom to sit. And I think that's pretty cool. Okay, so I'm going to go wide again for this one because it is an entire space station. So this is from Playmates. And it is the DS9 space station, Deep Space Nine. Terok Nor for everybody else. It has a wonderful Enterprise there at the top from the first episode where it was docked. And Captain Picard and Commander Sisko had an epic confrontation. I have never put batteries in this. The battery compartments are really fun, though. Each pylon has a space for a single AAA. And then you just slide that back up on there. And, I mean, and then you've got your batteries. I've not had batteries in this thing, so I'm interested to see what it does. Ooh. So, it does have lights. I guess it just does a tractor beam sound. Each side here has a light. Yeah. That's interesting. I mean, I guess the sound chip is in here, so there's not a whole lot of room. Yeah, all the lights come on and blink. The toy itself is nice and chunky and heavy and very intricately detailed, and it has this wonderful stand. This stand that kind of goes into a hole right here. And then it basically completes the whole package. And then it spins. I mean, it doesn't spin under its own power. I have to spin it. But you can put it in any position that you want to display it. It's just such a cool thing from Playmates. I think it's the coolest thing Playmates really ever put out. I bought this at a toy fair, and the box had never been opened. There had never been a battery in any of these compartments, and it just looked fantastic out of the box. Oh! I found other buttons. Why is this one red? Okay, so that's that noise. Ooh. Torpedo noises. It's a nice phaser noise. Why is this one red? I mean, that's a tractor beam, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a tractor beam. That's really funny. I wonder why that one's red and these ones... That might be the noise of one of these pylons opening up here for shuttle bay for the runabouts to come out. Yeah, that's a great phaser sound. That's a good torpedo sound, too. So, yeah, I mean, Playmates knocking it out of the park. Since you've got the Starship license back, it appears. This is cool. And now, here is XO6's Captain Cisco. Zip just a little bit. That cool guy. He's got his whiskey glass there, phaser and tricorder. So this is Cisco from the episode Pale Moonlight. At the end where he says,
"A guilty conscience is a small price to pay for the safety of the Alpha Quadrant. So I will learn to live with it." Because I can live with it. I can live with it.
basically it's to help persuade the Romulans to join the Federation and Klingon alliance to win the Dominion War, and it succeeds. But there's a lot of different levels to it, and I would recommend, if you're familiar with DS9, go back and revisit In the Pale Moonlight. It's a great episode. But anyway, we're talking about Ben Sisko here. And he's got his Scotch glass. He's got his hand phaser. He's got his tricorder. Got his awesome boots. And he's got his boots, but he's also got them tied down underneath his feet, like they normally would, to keep the pants from rolling up. He also has, this is his leisure attire. I actually do have the XO6 version that I bought did come with this extra coat on this wonderful little foam piece. Oops, sorry, I dropped his glass. We'll put it over here. And the coat will just fit over top of him. If you were wondering what it'll look like without any of the shirts on, he's got suspenders to keep his pants up. And here he is after some fiddle-faddling with his Starfleet uniform on. And his little vest fits on this little spongy piece. It's actually pretty cool. But yeah, so that is Ben Sisko from the XO6 line. And he's got this wonderful stand. The Crotch Hugger 5000. And he comes with this wonderful little... They call it a signature plaque. So if you were to see them out in the wild or go to a conference and see them and pay for an autograph, you can get it autographed. I did that with Q, and that'll come up tomorrow. But anyway, that's Ben Sisko from the XO6 line. Isn't he amazing? And now, I'm going to find my cleaning cloth. I'm going to get everything dusted off, and we'll get it put back.